1 minute till showtime. Satisfy yourself with a thirst-quenching drink. Your favorite beverage awaits you at our refreshment stand. The show is about to start, folks, but the refreshment stand will remain open for your pleasure.
Refresh yourself. It's intermission time. The concession stand is open and ready to serve you.
Class, come to order. Pay attention just once. We have a lesson to teach to the dunce. Is the candy good conviction?
Yeah, the tasty is perfection.
Have we got a good selection?
We invite your close inspection.
Is the ice cream not delicious? Healthful, tasty, unnutritious. Is the popcorn crisp and healthful?
Yeah, and it is sure a mouthful.
Is the soda cold and fizzy?
Vitamins keep the bubbles busy.
That's good. The lesson is learned. The trip to the sweet spot you have earned. Now is time for intermission.
Treat yourself to some nutrition.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next attraction.
There are candy bars galore in a lobby candy store, just in case you want a taste of something sweet.
Our popcorn is nutritious. You will find it delicious.
Most anything that you would care to eat. Cooling drinks that are so grand, simply name your favorite brand. Or some ice cream so good and helpful too. If you feel you need nutrition, now's the time, it's intermission. Step right up, we have the very best for you.
Top quality hamburgers, the most popular snack in the country. We serve them plain or garnished to your taste.
Golden pure creamery butter, rich, flavorful, satisfying. That's what it takes for the finest buttered popcorn, and that's what we use. See for yourself why there's no showtime treat to equal the crisp, delicious flavor of hot popcorn that's bathed in real melted butter. It's at the concession stand now.
He's the champ. He's the greatest. Because when it comes to winning blue ribbons, Dad can sure show us all how. But chances are he's always too busy making life easier for others to have time to collect them. So let's all toast the great family hero with a rousing, heartfelt cheer that's well earned. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Hot dogs, the all-American favorite. Certainly we serve them, piping hot and full of flavor. Call for yours now.
Your attention, please. All new hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
It's showtime.
It's intermission time. The show starts in 10 minutes. Yes, folks, it's intermission time. So how about taking a break? Get out and stretch a little and relax before the show begins again. And why not make it refreshment time, too? We have lots of tasty, delicious treats waiting for you at the refreshment center. There's hot popcorn, so golden good and fresh out of the popper. And all kinds of refreshing ice-cold soft drinks. Sizzling hot dogs just bursting with juicy goodness. Ice cream so smooth and delicious, you'll hanker for more. Plus, all the most popular candy bars and many other favorite treats. So why not visit the refreshment center now? Our courteous attendants are ready and waiting to serve you with a wide and wonderful variety of good things to eat and drink. So step right up and make yourself at home. The show starts in 9 minutes.
See, that's what I call hot chocolate.
Yours is waiting for you right now.
Get the drift? We feature ice-cold drinks at our concession.
Here come Flavos, the delicious oriental treat that's out of this world for taste-tempting goodness. Light and delicious, full of tender, juicy, fresh shrimp meat. It's America's favorite shrimp rolls. Try Flavos. You'll say they're shrimply delicious.
It's 8 minutes before showtime. Satisfy the kiddies with a bag of crisp, crunchy popcorn. And don't forget to get an extra bag or two to take to the car to munch on during the show. You will also want to take a supply of ice-cold soft drinks or delicious, flavorful coffee to keep you refreshed throughout the next show. Make the evening complete by getting a tasty treat for yourself and every member of your party. Make your visit to our theater a pleasant occasion to be remembered. We'll be richly rewarded with the thought that we have pleased you. It's 7 minutes before the show starts.
Popcorn hungry, we have it. Kettle from the popper. There are other treats for you, too, such as fresh candies and ice cream. Visit the refreshment center now. Enjoy a delicious snack and ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Music to the ears of the hungry. The sizzle of a mouth-watering hamburger. Fresh, lean beef, done to a golden brown, couched in a soft bun, and garnished to taste. Man, that's hunger heaven. And you'll feel like you're heaven sent when you get one at our refreshment stand.
The show starts in 6 minutes.
Visit our concession and see for yourself the delicious treats, drinks, and snacks awaiting you. If you are thirsty, try ice-cold soft drinks or a cup of hot, flavorful coffee. Get something to go with it, like a sizzling and satisfying hot dog or a tasty, tender sandwich. Try one of these delicious treats, and you'll be back at the concession for more before the show is over. The service at our concession is friendly and efficient.
Lowell, Superintendent of Police Leonard O. McPhail, and Property ID Cope Director Captain Thomas W. Kelleher discuss and formulate plans for the implementation of the Community Organization Alert Plan. Designed and instituted to prevent crimes through neighborhood self-help, the Police Community Relations Bureau is on the way to success. And here is how Cope works. You see a criminal offense in progress. Call the police at 40425. Identify yourself as a Cope member, and you don't have to give your name. Give the officer on duty all the details of the crime. Who, what, where, and when. Radio control will immediately dispatch mobile police units to the scene of the intended crime.
The show starts in 5 minutes.
Our tempting, tasty French fries go with everything. Come and get them. They are hot. They are delicious. This week, attend the church or synagogue of your choice.
The show starts in 4 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute.
Now, it's showtime.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 10 minutes.
What is it?
Say,
What is it?
hey, why it's Buttercup. Popcorn, add sweet green butter to hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight.
It's so munchy,
Crisp and crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite. Eat butter-drenched Buttercup, popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
The show starts in 9 minutes.
Oh, I float through the air with the greatest of ease, with or without the flying trapeze. My act is so great, gravity I defy, while I bring C-O-V-D-Y.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can.
Get it, everybody. It's time to drink your chocolate toddy.
Mmm, delicious.
The show starts in 8 minutes.
Witness the takeoff of the first manned rocket to outer space. We pick up the count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We're off to visit the planets. There are treats galore in the stars. Venus is loaded with candy, and ice cream is found upon Mars. The soda pop's fizzing on Saturn. When you're thirsty, it's sure it's the spot. And Jupiter's really jumping with popcorn that's buttered and hot. But the best of them all is the planet where all of these treats are at hand. And that is the spot we now head for, our theater refreshment stand.
Wait till you see what I get from the refreshment counter. Oh, boy, popcorn and candy bars and ice cream and, oh, boy, sparkling ice-cold Coca-Cola. Oh, boy, that tastes good. Have you been to the refreshment counter?
Remember, your favorite snack will taste especially good with world-famous ice-cold Coca-Cola.
The show starts in 7 minutes.
With mustard and relish, you'll guarantee mouth-watering satisfaction. Mmm. And now he sips his costume on a beautiful golden bun. There's his cue to go out on stage.
He's the natural.
He's the rage. Meet this person at a seat at our refreshment counter. Treat the family.
Something different for a change? Then try the perfect refreshment. Chili Dilly, a delicious pickle treat that's spiced just right for every bite. Economical, too. There's no waste. You eat every bit of the juicy goodness of Chili Dilly. How about trying one right now? Chili Dilly, on sale at our concession stand. You'll love 'em.
The show starts in 6 minutes.
And now, intermission. Refreshment time.
Ah, hello there. Give the demonstration of my new invention, the goodies machine. The machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you.
Here's a new taste treat. The corn dog. Plump, juicy wieners are dipped in a thick, golden Southern-style corn batter that seals in all their freshness and flavor. If you like hot dogs, you'll love corn dogs. Everybody does. Try a corn dog with your favorite beverage. At the refreshment corner now. Corn dogs.
Popcorn, candy, ooh, hot dog, popsicle,
The show starts in 4 minutes.
Just a minute, folks. Yes, that's all it takes to visit our refreshment counter in the lobby. There you'll find popcorn and an assortment of popular candy bars to please every taste. Try one of these delicious candy bars.
Oh, hi. This is me, Grandpa, and I'm going to be your host on Super Scary Saturday on the Superstation.
This week, the battle between ape and man continues when the simians escape from the planet of the apes and end up in 20th century America.
So join me, Grandpa, on Super Scary Saturday.
12:05 Eastern on the Superstation Saturday.
Tarzan and the Diamond of Asher.
Arts and crafts in group settings promote concentration. They serve to develop hand-eye coordination and hand and finger dexterity.
She wakes up preaching on the ground to get me out of bed at night to get a job. She makes my breakfast every day. She knows I want to have my way, and I'll never say, get a job.
For the last 25 years, fusion scientists have been knitting wire and metal into bewildering and costly hardware, like this advanced British machine at Culham in Berkshire, here powering up for a series of tests. The physicists are not trying to generate any power here. That's still a long way off. But it's experiments like this that build up knowledge of how fusion could work. Here, they're about to discharge a very high voltage through a donut-shaped ring of gas in a few millionths of a second.
30 kilovolts. The bank is...
For that split second, they'll challenge the most formidable laws of nature.
Firing. 3, 2, 1.
One legacy of our recent past has been the change in the religious life of the country. Some people have dropped out, others have been born again, and millions have joined new religions. No one is sure just how many new religions there are. It could be as many as 3,000 groups with more than 3 million members. Many parents and a lot of ex-members of these groups claim they are not in fact religions, but cults, destructive cults, that deceptively recruit members, practice techniques of mind control, and whose real aim is to get wealth and power for themselves. 26-year-old Bill Malik is a member of a California church that many consider a cult. He's been in it for 3 years since he graduated from college. He agreed to talk on the condition we wouldn't mention the name of the church and that the interview be filmed at CBS. Our request to film on church property was refused.
Was there something lacking in your spiritual upbringing that made you seek a newer religion as opposed to one of the older established religions?
Gretchen Tilly Simpson is a 38-year-old woman, a wife, a mother, and a truck driver.
Amusing incident that happened when I was driving up Broad Street recently was a great big truck pulled up beside me, and the driver was from out of the city, and he yelled over, "Hey, Mac, can you tell me where Callahill Street is?" And I turned to look at him, and he got really flustered. He says, "Oh, I mean, ma'am," you know. And I told him where the street was that he was looking for, but it was just an amusing situation because he assumed that he was yelling over to a local truck driver. And when he saw that it was a woman, he just was flustered for a minute.
GM, I have a way of capturing people in that the guy comes off the street and he gets a job and he's making more money there than he ever made in his life before, you know. And so at first it's a real shock. He got a lot of extra money. But, you know, you know, you watch TV, you hear the radio, how they advertise. You got to have this, you got to have that, you know. And pretty soon, you know, this dude's out, he's spending like Mr. Millionaire, you know. And then if you work at Lordstown, that's instant credit, you know. You got credit, and pretty soon they're charging all kind of stuff. I've got a guy that works with me. He's been married for 1 year. He bought a $16,000 home, and with the interest and everything on a 30-year loan, it's costing him $48,000. And then he had to borrow $2,000. He had to borrow about $1,000 for his car, and then he had to buy his wife she's got furniture payment, and washer and dryer, and then they got a little baby on top of all that. He got about 30-some fish, too. He says he's got 38 dependents. He's got to have all the money he can.
Theirs, it turns out, is not the world of rebellion, dissatisfaction, and adventure. Theirs is the world in which silverware makes you feel good. But how did they arrive at that conclusion so young? They're only 16. In Webster Groves, the city of fine homes, live 30,000 people who couldn't be prouder. Nearly half the families enjoy incomes of $10,000 or more. That makes Webster Groves a moderately wealthy suburb, a little wealthier than, say, Whittier, California. Not quite as wealthy as, say, Wilmette, Illinois.
In these troubling days of a modern world gone mad, one man has the technology to make a difference in time and space.
Check, testing, 1, 2, fuck it. Yeah, let's do this indeed. Good morning. How are ya? How's it going? I woke up. There's a plus. I'm alive.
here I am. I'm alive, and I'm damn glad to be here. I don't know why. I wake up, got a ruddy nose, get some coffee, get some duvage. Today is August 4th. May the August 4th be with you. Shut up. Oh. Anywho, yeah, 5 in the morning. I got up a little early this morning. I couldn't sleep well last night. It took me forever to get to bed. I was waiting for my daughter to get home. She went out, had some fun with her friends, and I just kept laying there and passing out and waking up and going, is she home yet? Is she home yet? Is she home? Finally, I just let the dogs out into the living room, and they sat up and waited for her. So they were her welcome home committee whenever she got home. And then, of course, now they're in bed with her. So there you go. There you have it. The little dog is doing a job, right? So it is, it's Monday. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? Hey, how you doing? Oh, camping's just around the corner, really. It appears that it is just a week away. A week and a half. A week from Thursday, I will be going down. I will not be here Thursday morning. I will be in the van driving. This morning I'm going to go get another battery. I'm going to take this battery in. If they can't charge it, I'm going to bring home another one. Pop it in the old Vanarino. And then, no more and then. I am going to fill it full of my camping stuff and get it ready to go. There you go. Whether I'm there alone or with friends and family and that kind of thing, that remains to be seen. I'm just going camping. So it's Monday Movie Memories today. So today we're going to be talking about a movie, actually a series of movies. But first, the record of the day is one of my favorites. And it is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, Going Places. This is one of my favorites. And this is one that they don't give me the year. Right. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to go. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to do that. Push some buttons and click some things and do some weird stuff. The sound you hear is not static. It's not white noise. Well, it is. It's my fan. I got that fan on there because I must keep it cool in here. Rick Derringer, Ann Rasney, Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner too. Didn't we just do Rick Derringer? Randy Meisner. When did he die? Was that just now? Well, we'll see. And he was 77. There you go. There you have it. I am going to jump on over here to the tuber. And I am going to Junkyard Singer David Roach. Junkyard 59. I don't know who Junkyard is. Are they from the 80s? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. David Roach from the 80s heavy metal band Junkyard. David Roach. Alright, well, it was just from the 80s, then I'm going to check it out. David Roach. And he was 69? 59. Pardon me. Pardon my faux pas. There. Okay. Let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. And open these guys up. Well, anyway, good morning, everyone. How are we today? I'm just out of it, right? I've been feeling like crap for the last, I don't know, several years. And I'm just not really feeling great this morning. I hope you enjoyed the video Time Machine Friday. I did. I had fun putting it together. Fun finding the elements. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Mr. Good Stuff. That's me, baby. Mr. Good Stuff. Let's see. Herb. Albert. And the Tijuana brass. There we go. And let's see. We are going to do Going Places full album. That's the one. I like it better when it's like the full album, just they put it on and hit record, right? Here is Herb Alpert. Herbie. Am I going to get a playlist here? Hey, here's a playlist. Going Places playlist from Herb Alpert himself. Well, or somebody pretending to be him. There's that. I'm going to reload my comments here in case there is somebody live saying, hey man, I'm here. No such luck. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to pop it into my comments here, paste it, and then let you know what it is. Tijuana. We don't know what year it is. We don't know what year it is. Let's just punch it up here. And Going Places. Albert and the Tijuana Brass, there it is, and it get out of here. Oh, we don't want that. There we go. What? Oh. You kidding me? Oh, I swear this thing is about the stupidest thing here. Websites. 65. That took me long enough, huh? Sheesh. 1965. There you go. Oh, Tijuana, Tijuana, do you wanna Tijuana? Do you wanna Tijuana? Alright, I'm here. I'm here. I'm weird. Get used to it. Okay. Aside from leaving the house for a brief period yesterday, I pretty much did nothing. I stayed here and worked on my, well, the program guide that we saw this morning. We looked at that, and it's on my channel if you want to see it. But it usually takes me the better part of a day to put that together, basically because I've got to do the 5 educational films first. Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. an educational film is on. I need to get that on before the week starts. I need to get it on my channel so I know if it's going to pass muster and have any copyright issues. And then once that is up and passed, then I can do the program guide because I know what has been programmed. I can't say, oh, this is going to be the movie, and then try to upload it, and then get a bad copyright hit, and then be like, oh, fuck, I got to change it. So I have to get things uploaded first, and then I have to design what I'm going to be doing this week. Like today, we're going to look at Planet of the Apes movies, so I need to get that taken care of, and plan everything accordingly for the entire week. Pick out the albums, yada, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. So it actually takes quite a while. The thing that takes the most is getting those 5 films created and saved and then uploaded, and that takes half a day right there. The other half of the day goes to creating the videos to say what's coming on. I've got to create the graphics for the weekly stuff, and then find the elements for the morning show. What am I going to do in the morning? Well, I'm going to talk about Planet of the Apes, so I need something Planet of the Apes related. So I've got to stick that in the preview. With the 5 films, I have to create a little short blurb of each film so that we know what's coming on, right? We get a little preview. So I have to create all of these elements, search out things, get halfway through creating a video, and then say, oh shit, I need this graphic, or I need this photo, or I need a video, or some kind of audio. The audio for Friday I changed a little bit because I'm like, well, what am I gonna put up there as a graphic for, you know, teenage employment, right? And then it was like, well, I'm not going to use a graphic. I'm going to use a song. And then I'm like, well, what songs? Get a Job. That was it. Boom. I didn't find it by the silhouettes. I found it by somebody else, which was cool because the silhouettes probably would have gotten me a bad copyright hit. So be it, dude. So totally be it, man. Today, at about 6, we're going to watch a 12-minute movie called The Treehouse. And it's about a kid in his beloved treehouse. Period. I don't think there's any dialogue in it. I don't recall there being any dialogue in it. It's been on my channel for about, oh, I don't know. It says 9 months on my channel, but I looked in my records and it was uploaded back in October, so it's more like 11 months, 10 months. Yeah, crazy stuff, baby. I got to talk to my friend again over the weekend. Hopefully things will work out and he will shoot down and make a bonsai trip down for the 1 or 2 nights and then shoot back up to get back to work. And he is the only one who has, from any distance, who has said that, yeah, he's going to be there, baby, or at least he's going to try. He's going to get wings, baby, and he's just going to fly. So I have a few more people from the area, you know, within a couple of 100 miles that I'm going to be hitting up. I kind of hope that it's not just a couple of guys hanging around, right? I hope some of the girls show up, because the girls were just as important, if not more important, than the guys in the groups. You know, totally. So I really, I'm hoping, against all hope, really, that there is going to be a good cross-section of people there. Yeah. Totally. Nothing weird, no weirdos. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't want any psycho-ness going on. I just don't. You know, I just want it to be mellow. Mellow. We had some rowdy parties back in the day, in the 80s. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't need it. I can't have it. I've got a couple of TV guides for today and, well, this week, because I have an abundance of August TV guides. So we have TV guides from 1977 and 1978. And here we go. August 5th through the 12th and the 6th, 5th through the 11th and 6th through the 12th, right? Yeah, 6 through 12, 5 through 11. 77, the Muppets is 77, the Jeffersons 78. And I love me some TV Guide. And we'll wrap up the show with some readings from the TV Guide, the readings from the television Bible. And back then it sat in the house on the coffee table next to like People magazine, Life magazine, the Bible, whatever coffee table books we had. I've got some great coffee table books. In a future show, we'll look at some of those coffee table books. Let me write that in this little part here. Coffee table books for future shows. And that'll be fun because my favorite kind of coffee table book is one with a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures, right? Like on Seinfeld, right? A coffee table book about coffee tables, right? Yeah. No, my coffee table book is about places. And that's what I love, because you can just pick up a book and just all of a sudden you're there. You're, you know, back before there was the internet, before there was video, before there was, you know, you could just dial up anything that you wanted to see. You had to go out and find it, buy it, rent it, get it on loan from the library, whatever, but you'd bring it home. And it would be in various formats, right? You could go to the library and look at stuff. You could bring stuff home, which was really fun. Back in the 80s and 90s, 70s, I used to bring home a lot of great stuff from the library. When I'd bring it home from the school library, it almost always got me in trouble. I don't know how many times I was told, if you don't bring that back, you're going to get an F in that class. And I just took the F, because I didn't know where the hell the book was, right? I didn't want to bring it home. Why'd you make me check out a book and bring it home? I told you my home life sucks. And, you know, I can't care for I could barely care for myself at home. And I would bring home these books, and they would get lost under a pile of dirty laundry or garbage, or stuffed into a box, or left in a car, and then the car would disappear, you know. halfway through a school year, we'd just be gone. And, you know, I'd be like, hey, look, a school book from this other school's library. Don't talk about it. Ow. Oh, my neck. My neck is none too fun today. I did some serious sleeping over the weekend. I really, really invested in some me time and got a lot of sleep over the weekend. I tried real hard to sleep in on Saturday and did. I got good naps every day. My naps were longer during the day than my sleep was at night, which is pretty normal. Yesterday, my wife actually said, you know what, I'm just going across the street and I got to be at this house forever because I got to do extra laundry. Why don't you just stay home? And I'm like, okay. Okay. No problem. Oh, I didn't put the name of the album. Going Places. There you go. There it is. Totally, eh? So, yeah. Yeah. I just got lost in the past here real quick. In school. Were we talking about school? Because all of a sudden I'm in like the 6th and 7th grade here. Totally, eh? And I think the best thing that I can do right now is just keep drinking coffee and smoking bong hits. Because, oh, my neck. All of a sudden I'm sitting here talking and pain shoots through my body, up into my skull, down to my ass, into my legs, out to my arms, right? Neck pain is fucking weird because it can, your neck you won't feel like immediate pain in your neck, but your arm will be radiating this pain, right, outward. Or it'll be like somebody's yanking on your arm, right? But it's your neck, you know. And I had that. I was kind of achy in my arm yesterday, my right arm, because of this pinched nerve up in this vertebrae where there's just no discs left. It's just, you know, they should have been fused together, of course, but the insurance company screwed me over, as well as the doctors. You know, they all got their piece of me, but I didn't get shit. So anyway, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today's record, the album of the day, is Going Places. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. It's Monday Movie Memories, so we are going to be talking about of course you can see by my t-shirt here, that one of my favorite movie series franchises is the Planet of the Apes. Oh, and this box here is a little worn, so let's put that back. It just needs a little dab of glue, I think. So this is my Planet of the Apes box set, DVD box set. I also, if you will, I have the original in none too great shape, but I have the original Planet of the Apes on VHS, right? And this one is just a little beat up. They were in a box at some point. Somebody had them in a box all next to each other, and they stuck together. So then after this one came Beneath the Planet of the Apes, right? This one's on VHS. And Tony Francioso, I believe that's who that was. Yeah, took over. Kim Hunter's still there. Maurice Evans, he's still there. And then Escape from the Planet of the Apes was the next one, where they came to 1978, I believe, and that's my favorite one, because they do come to the present time period, and it's just fun. And then we've got Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. That's the second one with Ricardo Montalban. He kills himself off in this one to save the apes, right? And then the last one, The Battle for the Planet of the Apes. And that's pretty much after the human-ape Holocaust war thing has taken place. So we've got the we've got the movies on VHS and on DVD there. My shirt, of course, because it's like my favorite franchise. This, to me, for me, I'm not talking about the new stuff. I'm not into the new movies, the new Planet of the Apes stuff. The old stuff, to me, is like the old Star Wars stuff to that genre, right? To me, the original Planet of the Apes series is like the original Star Trek series to some people as well, right? It's a neat little time capsule looking toward a really horrible future, right? And of course, there's more than this in this original franchise. There's also the TV series that we're going to talk about tomorrow, and the animated TV series. So there you go. They had their, and it was all ape. It was just all the same ape world, and they're just like in Star Trek, where Spock has to travel into the past, right? Because he has to set right something that has gone wrong, right? And in their doing, he creates a parallel universe, right? So just like that concept, because the apes have gone back in time, right? Taylor goes forward in time, sees what's happening. Tony Franciosa's character comes forward in time, helps him to destroy that future planet. But before that future planet is destroyed, the apes go back in time to 1978 and create the time period in which these guys were going forward to, but in a parallel dimension, because in the parallel dimension, humans aren't mute, and they do have a place in the world. So the battle and the conquest and stuff that happened in the post 1978 Planet of the Apes actually sets up that whole alternate timeline. So now you have the original movie and then the alternate timeline that has offshot to the side, which creates the TV show and the animated series, which is another parallel dimension in itself, because it has more to do with the original book almost than the series. It's kind of kooky, kind of crazy. I think after having explained all of that, or tried to, I deserve a bong hit, because that was a lot to talk about. And the original movie came out in 1968, my year, the year of my creation. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And it was over by the mid-70s. Ape fever ran its full course by 68 to like 78, right? Battle. Battle, 73. So, literally in 5 or 6 years, it ran the course of ape madness. The TV series came along, I believe, shortly thereafter. as well as the animated series. I believe the animated series was more in like early 1980s. The TV series was more in the late 70s. So we had this 10, 12-year run of Apes. And then after that, they were made fun of. People were putting on ape masks in movies and pretending to be Planet of the Apes and poking fun at the movie. They made fun of Planet of the Apes in Spaceballs, most notably, at the end, I believe, when the big vacuum cleaner lady statue crashed on a planet, and the two apes come running up on the horse, and you know. They also, in that Mystery Science Theater, right? 3000, the Mystery Science Theater, all right? There's an ape character in one of those versions of that show. Bong hit. Planet of the Apes character wearing that same mask. Totally, eh? Polished up my bong yesterday, and then, of course, got it dirty pretty quick. What's important is that it hits really well now. Totally, eh? I first remember seeing Planet of the Apes actually in the theater, and it was like on one of those re-release things in the theater. And I saw it at the same little theater where I saw Tron on a re-release thing. Not Tron, Logan's Run, pardon me. Logan's Run was there on a re-release at this little theater in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and it was off Hollywood Boulevard, like on Van Nuys or something. And it was right next to the building, this big white 3 or 4 story tall building, an old building where my father worked at the LA Star. And it was the LA Star was a pornographic throwaway magazine that you would buy in one of those machines, put in some change, put in $1, and open it up and pull out a newspaper. And on the cover of the newspaper, it always had some erotically posed girl with stars over her private parts, but she would be showing all except for what was covered with the star. So, but inside each of those newspapers was dirty poetry, dirty stories, a couple of, hippie type, new age story type things. A lot of advertising for local pornographic substance, or strippers or prostitutes, call girls, that kind of thing. So you could pretty much find anything dirty in this. Where to go to find dirty movies, the theaters, what was playing at the dirty movie theaters, bookstores, adult bookstores. So you could pretty much find anything naughty in one of these. But the paper itself was on like the 3rd story of this office building in Los Angeles, and it was the entire 3rd story, and it was probably a dozen rooms along a long hallway. So there was this elevator and a stairwell and a long hallway, and I think there was a nook at one point, but there were just doors in this hallway and offices. And one of the offices was advertising, and it was just my father and someone else sitting in there making phone calls, trying to sell ads in this thing. And they would call every dirty place they could, find bookstores. But he would also go out to these places and visit them in person and sell advertising time on their paper. In all of the other rooms is where they were working on stories and other stuff and doing photo shoots. They were always doing photo shoots. Every time that I was there were photo shoots going on. And I'm at this point, I'm about 6 or 7 years old. And I'm raised around hippies and naked people and this stuff all the time. So I'm like kind of used to it. but not, because I'm a little kid, right? And I remember many times going to work with my father and having him, rather than put us in the theater, which if he took all of us, well, me and my brother, my sister was usually too small and she would have been at home, or with my mother. A lot of times it was just me and my brother. If it was me and my brother, we were usually put into the theater and left there for several hours watching a matinee, double feature thing. If it was just me, if my brother was in school and it was just me with my father, which happened quite frequently, he would just take me into the office with him. And I would sit in this office surrounded by copies of this dirty magazine everywhere. There was porn all around me all the time. And it excited me, it intrigued me, it made me wonder, but it also scared the hell out of me, because I didn't know what the fuck these people were doing. This was some weird shit. Is this normal? And it became normal. It became normal for me to see that kind of stuff all the time, you know, as a child. And what you don't realize as a child is that your friends aren't like this, right? Your friends have no clue and will have no clue about this kind of stuff, most of them for another 10 years. And I'm like way ahead of the curve, way ahead of the game, because I know way too much. At an early age, I used to, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old, would walk through the halls of this magazine and would just open up a door and see people in there doing it. And another guy there with a camera. Hey, come on in. And it would happen regularly, where I would just be invited in to hang out and watch whatever was going on, you know. And it was weird, because I'd go to school and all of this stuff would be inside of me, but there ain't none of that there. There ain't none of that at school. They don't do that kind of stuff. They don't talk about that stuff. You know, I would imagine the teachers and principals and stuff in the offices doing it, because that's what I figured they did behind closed doors. You know, I figured that everywhere you went, something like this was going on. All you had to do was open up a door and look in there, and there it was. And I'll be damned if it wasn't true. Everywhere you go, there was somebody. You go to school and you'd open up a door and there'd be the nurse with somebody, you know. We used to, when we lived in a place called Woodland Hills, California, for a brief period of time, we lived in an actual house, and this house was in an old established neighborhood, and my brother used to hang out with all of the local kids. And they would kind of run around and get into shit. And there was an abandoned building, a big, giant 3-4 story townhome type place with, you know, a central staircase and, you know, banisters on every floor, rooms on every floor. And I remember going into this old, and like it could have been an old boarding house or office or something, right? Old school. And I just remember walking through this place, just being fascinated with all of the old things and all of the stuff that these people had left behind and things that other people had brought there, right? And I remember opening up a door and there were 2 older kids in there doing it. Just doing it right there on the ground on some kind of carpet or blanket or old mattress or something, but they were there in this room doing it, and just standing there, you know, slack-jawed, watching, you know, and the guy saying, you know, get out of here and shut the door, come on in and shut the door, I don't care, but shut the goddamn door, you know, right? A couple of black kids just in there doing it. And that was like the story of my freaking life as a little kid, you know. And it was hard to escape that growing up, you know, knowing way more about sex and the human condition than all of your friends combined, right? And you got to play it off like you don't know nothing, you know. You're trying to be with a girl, and what you know is stuff that you've seen in like pornographic magazines and things at your father's place of employment, and you think you know what you're supposed to do, right? I remember in like 79 or 78 or 79 or 80 or something right around then, actually seeing a bunch of those early porn movies on TV, like one of those early cable channels, cable networks. You know, Rabid, which was not really a porn, but it kind of was. Deep Throat, Behind the Green Door, The Devil and Mrs. Jones, which was a play on The Devil and Mrs. Jones, an older movie, not a porn. Yeah, a bunch of weird old shit like that was my introduction, you know. And, you know, but also kids and things and stuff going on in the neighborhood. I used to follow my brother around all the time, and he would get into some stuff, right? And I'd be right there to check it out, you know. Who's the kid? That's my little brother, leave him alone. You know, and I'd get to hang out and watch. I'm going to get some hotness to my coffee here. I'll be right back. It was a weird childhood, man. I have got so much stuff to do for my camping trip, and I am just bleh. I am just bleh. I need to get the van running. I need to get that battery in it. And then I need to get the van cleaned and emptied. And then from there, I just need to go out every day and take a couple of armfuls of stuff and pack it into the van. If I can just get to that point where I'm just going out every day with a couple of bags or boxes full of things, then I think I'll be okay. I still have to make the decision to take the chairs out or not. I think I'm going to take the chairs out. I think once the van is running, I'm going to take it over to my friend's garage and dump the chairs off for a couple of weeks. And then give myself a little more room in the van. It'll still be able to sit 4 extra people driving around, right? If we're going to do that. More than likely, we'll just take somebody's car and go do a little tour thing. I need to get some ink, some black ink, so I can print up some maps of my town, my hometown there, and get on Google Earth and find the different things for the scavenger hunt, right? It's going to be a photo scavenger hunt. You go to a different place and you take a picture, and then go to the next place and take a picture, and yada 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 yada. And the first, you know, all right, if you're leaving, let me sign your thing. Here's your map. Give me the donation for the map. And I think I'm going to do, like, depending on how many people show up, probably like $5. If there's like 100 people there, I'll probably just do like $1 donation or something, or more, whatever. And then use that funds for, you know, some portion of the weekend. You know, maybe it's just to take care of my camping stuff, you know. But then at the end, for their troubles and for their, $5 donation or whatever, I'll do, prizes and give things away to people. And that'll be fun. God, I still have to dig through my records, my 45s over there, and pull out a couple dozen 45s of really classic stuff, right? And I've got a bunch back here, down here on a shelf, and those are like the creme de la creme. But I've also got a lot down here in their original sleeves and stuff, so I need to go through those as well and pull out a good stack to give away. Because that's what they did back at parties. Way back in the day, they would have like a record party and they'd give away records. And somebody'd show up and sing. Right? Totally. So I'm just trying to give it as much of a throwback feel as possible. So I keep adding more stuff to this box of goodies that I'm going to take for giveaway and for drawings, raffle, auction type stuff. And if we get a lot of people that show up on Saturday night, then what we'll do is I'll invite somebody out to perform some live music, and we'll pass the hat, and then I'll do an auction and a raffle and a drawing and give prizes to people who have decided to stick around after the scavenger hunt, right? And kind of wrap things up by dark, pretty much, right? Things will be getting dark and things will be wrapping up, and we'll probably have some live music around a campfire and a little bit of lighting, and to go acoustic. But I don't expect there'll be a whole lot going on late, unless a lot of people show up and we make a plan to do something and we've got live music staying late. If it gets to, somebody might say, look, I'm coming by, what do you need? Bring a generator. If we get 2 generators to come by, then we've got enough power for a couple of, instruments and that kind of stuff. My original thought was to have a stage set up the day before and to bring all of my musical instruments and set them out, and as well have a stage there so that when somebody else showed up, they could bring their stuff and add to it, right? And let it go like that. And then have the option for acoustic or electric entertainment. Also have it set up so that we could do some DJ stuff. Just have somebody with Spotify doing a playlist, right? If my daughter were to be there, I would make that her job. I want you to find everything 80s and before and pipe it up into the speakers. And just do that. Just do that all day, all night. And all she'd have to do is just, here's a playlist, push play, and walk away from her phone. That's it, baby. Yep. Wow, August 4th. Tomorrow is my friend Andrew's birthday. He will be 1 year younger than I am. So for this brief period of time, we are both going to be 56. And then on the 20th, in 16 days, I become 57. Yay! Totally old man, So there you go. Good old party time, The last time I thought about throwing one of these events, it was like going to be held over my birthday weekend. And I quickly canceled it because I didn't want it to be on my birthday, and nobody was really giving a shit about it. And then I did it with an event and publicized it, right? And sent it to a lot of people, shared it, which I didn't do last time. I just said, whoever's going to read it's going to read it, and we'll see what happens. Well, nobody read it. Nobody cared. Well, a lot of people read this one. A lot of people cared right up front, and then it kind of fizzled off. I don't know if it's because it was a year away, or because somebody actually did come along and say, man, it's canceled, don't go. And so a lot of people who said they were going to come aren't going to come now because they think it's canceled. So there's that. The album of the day is, of course, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, Going Places. The movie of the week is Planet of the Apes, but it's the whole series because it's Planet of the Apes week. It's August. And Planet of the Apes, the original movie, came out in '68, the year I was born. And this is my birth month. So there you go. My favorite franchise is about monkeys. It is. Going back to when I first saw Planet of the Apes stuff, it was in the theater, and it may very well have been the very last of the movies, which was 1973, which is about the time period that I would have seen it in the theater, and I would have seen it in the theater about 74, 75. So at that point, they would have had that bringing it all back to the theater after that last movie, and then wanting to get some more of that, that franchise dollar, right? And then, of course, the TV series came about, which kind of extended its longevity there a little bit more. But forever, you could see Planet of the Apes movies on TV late night on those monster shows with Grandpa Munster doing his, late night show. Everybody did it. Everybody was an ape fanatic, right? And it wasn't until, God, forever. When was that Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movie, right? When was that? That was like in the early 2000s or something. And they tried. Tim Burton gave it a shot. I thought it was done really, really well. I like that version better than the newer stuff, because the newer stuff is all CGI. It's all new wave. And, the acting is kind of hokey, and the characters, and they're just reaching, right? They're just trying to make a new genre, a new franchise. And I don't think it takes anything away from the original. I guess it's for a new generation of people, a new generation of ape fans. I think they should have followed the storyline that Mark Wahlberg and that movie set up. The whole Tim Burton thing there. I think they really should have gone back to an ape planet and seen, what it was like for him to live on that ape planet. More like, because it's the Mark Wahlberg Tim Burton movie ended in a place that was much like, had the feel of the original book by Pierre Boulet. Is that what his name? I don't know. I got the book around here somewhere. But I first got turned on to it right in the mid-'70s and was a fanatic about it. A couple of my favorite movies, a bunch of my favorite movies are still movies that I fell in love with as a kid. The Bad News Bears franchise, the original one, Logan's Run, and that TV show. I like that all of the movies that I really, really was in love with actually had a TV series after. I would have enjoyed to see what a season of Bugsy Malone would have looked like had that gotten the nod for a 30-minute series, right? They would have had one song per episode, right? They would have had pretty much all of the same characters, or at least the similar characters. They could have shot it on a set in like one or two streets on an old town set with a few cars as props. It would have been an all juvenile cast, really. with a lot of singing and dancing. So there would have been a musical, a singing and a singing number, a musical number in each episode, which would take, at least 3 minutes. Plus the, God, that would be great, a Bugsy Malone TV show, but back then. And if you were to do it today, you would have to set it, you would have to begin creating the show as if you were in 1978, 1977, right? And then from there, create the show looking back to the 20s. So that when you're looking at actors and actresses and kids and writers, and you're coming at the world from a whole different period. It's like trying to cast Stranger Things, right? You have to look at those kids as if your casting was happening back then. That's the only way to do it. Totally. So, my wife and I, this is a little off subject, but my wife and I like to watch shows together. And over the weekend, before the weekend, we had started watching Dark Wind, set on the Navajo Indian Reservation in 1971-72, right? It's 2 seasons. Looks like they pretty much wrapped it up in the 2 seasons, but you never know. They could come back. They kind of left it open, but it was pretty much wrapped up. The story arc over 2 seasons wrapped it up. But it was great. It was a great period piece. I loved being immersed in early 1970s and the late 60s. They talked about the Apollo space missions, the moonwalks that were happening at the time. They just made reference to everything 70s, but from a Native American slant, right? And I love that. Because I can sit here in my home, surrounded by all of my crap that's from the past, and look past my old stuff onto the TV, where there's just more old stuff, and I'm sitting there, trying to follow the story, but looking behind the characters and the actors to the stereo. They kept showing the police lieutenant's house and his television, and on top of the television was this great old style white 8-track player AM/FM radio, and it was one of those space age looking things, almost looked like a helmet, but it was a little different. And then next to it was the carousel, the 8-track tape carousel that I had on the show the other day, filled with 8 tracks, right? And I look around the room on these sets, right? And I'm just taken back. They would go into the average home on the Navajo, and it was like a yurt made of mud and straw, sticks and stones and shit, and dirt floor, right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm explaining to my wife that this is how they lived in 1972. And the bummer is that a lot of people on the reservation today, on the Navajo reservation, still live like that. There's no water, there's no electricity. They got a dirt floor, and it's just horrible that one of the story arcs is the idea that the government was still spaying and neutering the savages, right? At that point in time, in the early 70s, they were still taking women into the hospital, helping them to give birth, and then just tying their tubes up. Just clip, snip, snip. The men, they would just round up and send off to Vietnam, or, ignore so badly that they would just drink themselves to death, Yeah, horrible, horrible conditions. And the fact that they didn't shy away from the truth about what really happens on the res. And what really happened. And it still goes on. It still fucking goes on. There's still horrible conditions on the reservations. You know, some reservations who play the game can have casinos and make money and divvy it up amongst their tribe, you know. But mostly Native Americans are just screwed over. You know. They probably get it the worst, and then would come probably Mexican Americans, and then African Americans, and then probably the Irish and Koreans and Asian Americans. Well, I guess the Irish don't have it so bad now, but I guess I'm thinking 100 years ago. But doesn't that just suck? That if you're not this, and you're anything but this, then we don't need you, we don't want you. There's plenty of you to pick from, right? Well, if you're going to be a rebel, then go on. I'll hire somebody else for this slave fucking job. There you go. There you go. Look, it's after 6. Let's let's go ahead. Let me see if I can turn this fan down a little bit. All right. And I am going to close this stuff up, because if I don't, well, then we're going to hear me and the movie, and I don't want to do that. So the movie that we have for today is called, what is it called? Where is it? I guess I'll have to go over here and find it. The Treehouse is today's movie. And I have to look through about 300 movies here to find the one we are going to watch. Wow. The Towers. Oh, come on. Where are you? Treehouse. Okay. It was mislabeled, but here it is. Come on. There we go. Oh. Here we go. There it is. And yeah. There I am. The Treehouse. I've seen this, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was different. Right? I don't remember there being any dialogue. Just this kid and someone else, and I won't give it away. I did a lot of this when I was about that age, or younger. I would just walk off by myself and wonder why. Why? 69. Totally, eh? Treehouse, eh? I never had a treehouse growing up. I spent time in some trees. I was scared of everything. So I never went up in scary trees. And I wasn't really physical when I was young. Actually, I never really was into sports or competition or, you know, skateboarding, biking. A little bit, but not much. Ooh. Were those real chucks? When I was in my teens, I built a treehouse. Never got to finish it. Of course, we had to move. Totally. With me, it would have been porno mags, right? Stolen porno mags. I was a perv when I was young, and I kind of grew out of it as I got older. So now I'm more like a eunuch, I guess. It just doesn't interest me. A eunuch. Yeah, unitard. He's a eunuch tard. So what a great place. Uh-oh. It's coming to life. Oh no. Big steel machines coming to destroy everything. Every time they do this, they kill so many animals. That's all homes right there. Humans suck. You can't stand in the way of progress, man. Well, progress sucks. Uh-oh. Dude. Dude. Really? Uh-oh. This guy's a tree killer. He's a fucking tree killer, you fucking fuck. So you can build some more of those little fucking shitty houses? Oh, I don't think so, dude. You need to back the fuck off, man. Dude. Dude. Oh, they said something. Mike. Is that his dad? You eat the apple because I don't want to be healthy. I'll eat the bologna because I need hardening of the arteries. Can I sit on a tractor? Kid starts it up, drives over the dude. You ain't hitting my fucking tree. Rum 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 rum. That guy's just one big freckle. Take it easy there, Ginger. Don't fuck with it. Gingy, no. Oh, he knows he's a bad man.
Come on, Mike. Get out. Mike, you'd better go home now.
Uh-huh. He knows.
Mike! Hey! Get down!
Fuck you. Come get me.
Get down, Mike. It's coming down.
Fuck you, you fucking adult. It's coming down. I'd get up there and whip it out and piss on that dude. Right? You ain't taking my treehouse, you fucker. Pull up the fucking ladder. Pull up the ladder. Pull it up. Hell no, we won't go. 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 Hey, you in a tractor down there. Either bring me a cheeseburger or fuck off. They'll bring him a cheeseburger. Here, it's a doped cheeseburger. Right? The developer couldn't figure out a better way to do this. He's not going to pull that down. It's right there on the flood. Right? It's just right there. That was it. That was all. That was it. 1970s, man. Looked like it said 1970 something or other. I don't know. Bong hit. Well, anywho, I am going to reboot the comments here, because I can. See if there's anybody here. Reboot. Hey, there it is. Nothing going on. That's quite alright, because it's Monday, and oh my god, it's fucking Monday. I don't even know when my daughter came home last night. Must have been after midnight. Which is totally cool, because she's like a studyaholic, right? When school is in session, that's all she does. She takes time off here and there to go to a concert, hang out with a friend once in a while. But when school is in session, that's all she does. So when she goes out, I feel so good, right? It's like, oh, I hope she does this more. I hope she gets to go out and do stuff, right? I just want her to have fun, be happy. And she's got this last year, 2 semesters left, and then she gets her bachelor's degree. And then she can take some time off, right? And then we'll figure out what's going on. If I'm still around, I'm thinking maybe we should move. She won't be in school, and we can take the opportunity to relocate to a better climate, a nicer area, something that's a little cheaper to live, and perhaps actually invest in some land. So I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to get away and do something like that. I am going to, you know what, the Treehouse, that little movie there, that was neat. We didn't get to see much. We saw the kid's clothes, we saw the few things that he had in his box, the lunch pail, that was pretty cool, the old style tractor, that little neighborhood that was being developed right there. That was it. We didn't see anything else really of that time period, except for perhaps the filming and the filmmaking techniques. I enjoy things where you really see a lot as far as the household items, especially. I love to see the Tupperware and the crockery and the coffee mugs and the dishes and the sets of dishes, you know. What kind of teapot, coffee maker, appliances, what's the countertop made of, right? What's hanging on the wall in the living room? What are the knickknacks? What does the stereo look like? What's the TV look like? You know, are there any musical instruments in the room? Can I see the albums, right? Can I see one album cover? I just love picking a movie apart. That's, I guess, why I have so much fun watching and rewatching movies, is because I'm always looking at something different, right? I never see the same movie the same way twice. I'm always seeing it from a different angle, you know, unless it becomes a sleeping pill movie, and then I'm usually seeing it through closed eyes. That doesn't detract from the film itself. It just means that I enjoy it so much that I want it to put me to bed at night. You know, put me to bed, baby. And it does, and it's so good. What am I going to do this morning? I think I'm going to lay back down, actually. I think I'm going to have some breakfast and then go lay back down. I didn't get real great sleep, and then when the alarm started going off at 4, I couldn't wait. It was like, all right, I'm not going to sleep. I haven't slept. I don't want to try to go back to sleep for 10 minutes, so I just got up and found that I had to take a leak real bad. And then I made coffee. The bummer is if I get out of bed too early, I wind up sitting here for an extra 10 or 20 minutes and with nothing to do, because everything is planned out to the minute in the mornings from 4:20 when I get out here, right? And then I come out, I use the restroom, I turn on all of my stuff, I get my show set up, I go live, I check it, make sure everything checks out okay technically. Then I go make some coffee, you know, maybe use the restroom, prepare my coffee, get my wardrobe on, gather my stuff for the day. Pretty much I'd bring a box over and put it behind me. And, you know, rinse out my bong if I need to do that. Whatever I need to do before the show starts, during my pre-show, which is about a half an hour. But, man, if I get up too early, I wind up like I am now. Just kind of drained and tired and barely hanging on. I don't know. Maybe I'm sick. I'm sick, all right. Sick in the head. I know that I don't enjoy going out anymore. I'm uncomfortable. I don't have a lot of energy because I don't eat a lot. So it's kind of like I get tired really quick. I can't drink anything when I go out other than maybe coffee or water, right? I can't eat anything when I go out because I got my teeth in, and eating just becomes a hassle. It doesn't feel right, and then the food gets caught up in places I'm not used to anymore, so it's hard to control the food that's in my mouth. And then after I eat, it's like, I gotta take these things out and clean everything. This is horrible. So I just don't enjoy going out anymore for long periods of time, especially for entertainment purposes. If I'm gonna go out, I'd rather like go to the drive-in, take the van, sit in the back of the van, turn the car stereo on, listen to the stuff, and be relaxed in my own little world. And not have to be surrounded by people, right? Sure, they're in their cars, we're in ours. Like that. So maybe in the fall when it starts to cool off, and hopefully during the holidays, they'll have some good shows, some good movies. I don't like the new stuff. I don't like it when all there is to pick from is like Superman or Jurassic World number 18 or, you know, whatever superhero movie is out. Because that's all there is. It's all just the same crap anymore. You know, you can pick up the latest Despicable Me crap, the latest fucking Disney crap, the latest Star Wars crap. It's just all crap. You know, just all crap. Nothing good makes it to the theater anymore. except during the holidays when they play old movies on the screen. That's what I'm going. I want to go over between Halloween and Christmas. They'll usually put on a few older movies, right? You know, even if it's just like Nightmare Before Christmas, I can still get my daughter to go to that, and we can go and enjoy that, right? If they were to do like some old Christmas movies, right, like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, right, and some other weird 1980s movies, that would be great. You know, I'd love to go there and help with programming, you know, and throw themed parties at the drive-in, right? Because you can get out of your car and walk around. You can set up a table, right? And, you know, bring your stuff to vend, right? Bring your costumes, bring, you know, this month on this every, you know, like every Saturday or something, we're going to do a themed, you know, the first Saturday of every month, we're going to do a themed movie event, and we're going to show these 3 movies in a row, and you're welcome to come and do costumes. And, you know, we're going to have a LARPing area where you can do live action role play stuff right in front of the screen, have contests, costume contests, you know, go big, right? Why not make it something heavy? If you're gonna view Superman movies, right? Why not do an event on the first Saturday that it's released, right? And give stuff away, do costume contests, do, you know, whatever, and invite people to bring and display their own stuff, you know. You're welcome to set up and vend your own things if you show up early for the pre-show. I would turn a drive-in into a daily place for people to go, really. That's what it was back in my day. You know, if there was any place to have a swap meet, it was a frickin' drive-in theater. It was big, it was open, it wasn't used during the day. People could come in, set up their stuff, be gone by, you know, early afternoon, and they clean it up and get it ready for the drive-in, you know. Charge people $10 to come and set up and sell stuff. Shit. Now that our swap meet is gone, that's what needs to happen. The only bummer is that somebody would come along and put a lawsuit against the drive-in because there's no places for wheelchairs, right? And because a drive-in is a drive-in, right? There's no real reason to get out of your car. So what they need to do is, in front of the snack bar, they need to have a shitload of handicap spots with concrete, smooth concrete, all the way back to the bathrooms and the snack bar. That's it. Other than that, there's nowhere to go in a drive-in except in your fucking car. So, but if they do a swap meet, well then how are those handicapped people going to get around? Yeah, I believe it's all paved. So as long as the paving is good and smooth, I would think they would be okay, right? It is a drive-in. It is what it is, right? But if you do a swap meet, it's just got to be accessible for everybody. Totally. All right, I think it's time to pack a bong hit, heat up my coffee, and then read from the TV Bible, the TV guide. And we're going to read from 1977 today, and we'll start with Saturday and work up to today. I'll be right back. I will for sure be getting done today, this morning, and I'll be eating some breakfast for sure, because I am, oh man, I am just starving. I'm starving, you know. Starving Marvin. Oi. Oi. Yeah, we'll get back to that in a few minutes when it's time to close out the show. What do we got here? The Muppets from 1977. This TV guide is from August 6th through August 12th, 1977. Right? And first of all, Carlton, of course, there's always a cigarette ad on the back of the TV guide. Right? I guess Carlton's got it this year. Roman meal. I remember Roman meal bread. That was the bread my father always got. He said, white bread is just paste. It's just glue. It's like eating paste at school. White bread is nothing. You gotta have wheat bread, right? And he would just swear by his wheat bread. But we didn't always have bread or milk or butter or any of that kind of shit, so I didn't give a fuck. I was just happy if we had bread at all. I didn't care what kind it was. I like to look through these for the ads. There's Double Mint Gum, Wrigley's, and see what kind of cigarette ads we got going on in here. There's one there. Tylenol. All doctors recommend Tylenol. Cool, right? We got Cools. Let's see. Afternoon Delight. Right. Alright. Digel. Oh, right. And then it looks to see what happens in your stomach with acid. Oh, yay. That's always fun. And then another cigarette ad here. Salem Lights. Salem Light 100s. We're going to zip through here and see if we got any more ads for stuff. Cigarettes. There's TV guide stuff. Ads for... Oop, here we go. Here's some 8-track tape ad here, which is really big. 11 records or tapes for only $1. For only $1. That's great. I love that. I love those. You just look through those forever. And then any more cigarette ads here? How to lose weight. Hollywood Squares ad. Alright, now we are... The pre-guide here is where you usually see the ads. And here's Trues. We got True. Oh, do you remember the drawing contest? Right? Those are fun. Those were fun. I actually did draw those things. You have to trace them first. Once you trace them, then you can pretty much draw them. But you have to trace them first. You got to just draw right over the top of them. And then put some tracing paper over and draw over it again. And then take some regular paper and kind of sketch out what you did. Ooh, camel filters. Ooh, look at them, camel filters. If you're a tough guy, yeah, one of a kind. Camel filters. And what else do we got here? More Parliament. We got Parliament cigarettes, and they all had their weird little cigarette filters and their cool little things. Philip Morris Inc. 1977. It was all the same bullshit. They were just trying to convince you that it was safe to smoke cigarettes, and it wasn't. Smoke is not safe. Period. Look at Del Monte. You can get a juice blender there. I think I'm going to start juicing. I told my wife, you know what? Maybe if I get some juice and some additives and stuff for juicing, I could get into juicing and kind of boost my intake of vitamins and minerals and calories and that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to start with Saturday morning cartoons, and then we'll go into Saturday evening, and then do primetime Sunday, primetime Monday. Okay, at 6:30 it starts with The Voice of Agriculture, because this is a Central California edition where they have like Bakersfield, where there's just, you know, farm country. But at 7 o'clock, Tom and Jerry and Mumbly, Woody Woodpecker, Caracolendas, must be Caracolendas, I don't know what the hell that is, Caracolendas, Saturday's Children's Showcase, Jabberjaw at 7:30 with Pink Panther, Mr. Rogers, Black Buffalo, Bakersfield in the News, Scooby-Doo and Dino Mutt, Sesame Street, Sylvester and Tweety, The Voice of Tokyo, Club, or the Clue Club, Speed Buggy, Once Upon a Classic, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner, Hopalong Cassidy, Croft Super Show, Monster Squad. This is now we're at 9:30. Miss Pat's Playroom, Space Ghosts, Frankenstein Jr., Infinity Factory, Tarzan, Dusty's Treehouse, Munsters, Super Friends, Big John, Little John. That's that show with short-lived series with Robbie Rist on there. And then Bebop, Batman, and Jetsons. At 11, we've got Oddball Couple, Grandstand, Antiques, Shazam and ISIS, Baseball, American Bandstand, Crockett's Victory Garden, Fat Albert at noon, Arc 2. Wow. Arc 2, children. There you go. U.S. Farm Report, yay. Children's Film Festival, Mischief, right, is the film. And we're going to move into prime time on Saturday. We have got Wodehouse Playhouse comedy. Jill, belated, some kind of thing. I don't know if it has anything to do with P.G. Wodehouse, but it might. Okay, here we go. 8 o'clock, Saturday evening, August 6th, 1977, Future Cop. Ernest Borgnine. I actually have one of these previews. If you watch my TV stuff on Tuesday opening, I've got it in a promo there. Every once in a while I'll stick it in somewhere. Also at 8, Emergency, Shades of Green, Mary Tyler Moore, At the Top. And then at 8:30, Bob Newhart. At 9, Starsky and Hutch. Front Page, and that's Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. Monty Python's Circus. Monty Python. All in the Family. At 9:30, Goodies, a comedy. Never heard of it. And Alice. Feather and Father Gang. Harry and his merry band of con artists attempt to set a double-dealing real estate salesman who embezzled funds and murdered his financial partner. Feather, Stephanie Powers. Harry, Harold Gould. Feather and Father Gang. I guess that's them. Harold Gould, that old guy with curly-ish black gray hair. Usually has a big mustache. Stephanie Powers, right? Delfino is Frank Delfino, Joan Shawlee, Louis Charles, John Cipher. There you go. Let's see who's on Saturday Night Live. Donovan's Brain, right on, is on at 10:30. That's a great movie. 11:30. No Saturday Night Live. This must have been one of those hiatus periods for Saturday Night Live. Maybe they just weren't on in the summer. That's it. There you go. 78, 77. Who knows if they were going to be back, right? That show is kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, what's happening Sunday night? Prime time. Let's see that. We'll see that. Yeah. Let's see that. Sunday night, prime time. 7 o'clock. Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries. There you go. World of Disney. On Vacation with Mickey Mouse and Friends. Cartoons from 1937 to 51. 60 Minutes. Dial E for Embezzlement, 1976 report. The Grandies, 1974, Spanish Family of Sherry Barons. And Three's a Crowd, 1974. childless couples. There you go. Firing Line, William F. Buckley. The Reluctant Heroes, Korean War story with Ken Berry. Ooh, boy. Real Idades. I don't know what that is. 8 o'clock, $6 Million Man. There you go. Macmillan. So that used to be called Macmillan and Wife. And then, now it is Rock Hudson. And Susan St. James is no longer on the show. I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that she left the show and it just became Macmillan. Huh. I wonder why she left the show. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm going to put down here Macmillan. Huh. Huh. What the hell's that shit? Yeah. We got about 20 minutes to go on the show for a normal show. I'm not sure how normal the show is going to be today. So I am going to just kind of keep going until I can't. And it's probably going to be the restroom that's going to camp me. We also have at 8 o'clock Evening at the Pops and Rhoda. I'm not a fan of Rhoda. At 8:30 Starland Vocal Band variety show. They have their own variety show. Dance in America. Overseas Mission. Inter-American Foundation. Don't know what that is. 9 p.m. August 7, 1977. A movie. Emperor of the North. Oh, Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine. I remember that. That's kind of weird movie. Guys try to become kings of an area. Poldark. Another movie. Vanishing Point. Oh, geez. There you go. Barry Newman, Cleavon Little, Dean Jagger. There you go. It's a great car in that one there. Okay, and at 9:30, Yesterday's Child. Shirley Jones. I think I've actually seen it. At 10, Nova, and then Offshore, Onshore. Offshore oil drilling and onshore oil drilling, I guess. Vamos a Cantar. It's a variety show about singing. Jerry Falwell, Religion. 10:30. Nothing. At 11, FBI documentary showcase. Adam 12, and the usual crap until late night, and then it's and then the TV turns off. There's nothing left. What do we have for Monday evening? Monday evening prime time. Hollywood Squares at 7:30. Lynn Anderson, Richard Crenna, George Goebel, Earl Holliman, Janet Leigh, Paul Lynn, Joan Rivers, Waylon and Madam, and Jonathan Winters. There you go. There you go. There you have it. All right, here we go. At 8 o'clock, Holmes and Yo-Yo. Holmes and Yo-Yo. What the fuck is a Holmes and Yo-Yo? Holmes and Yo-Yo comedy. Holmes and Yo-Yo collar an out-of-state fugitive, only to release him to cohorts impersonating cops. Richard B. Shull and John Shuck. Bruce Kirby, Andrea Howard, Ben Hammer, Howard. I don't know what this is. Little House on the Prairie also at 8 on a Monday evening, August 8th, 1977. Victor French is in this one. That's great. Jeffrey Lewis. Oh, they play those brothers, those stupid, mean brothers that come into town and lie and cheat and bully, and their kid is even worse, right? Their little brother, whoever it is. Just horrible people. Also at 8 o'clock, Shades of Green, Jeffersons, and they are on the other cover that we'll look at tomorrow, the other TV guide. Black Journal, the possibility of federal funds being withheld from predominantly black public colleges is examined. There you go. Never ends. They don't need it. They're just blacks. Bastards. Where Angels Go, Trouble Follows. 1968. Stella Stevens. Not a fan of Szynski comedy. Szynski, Ned Beatty, uncovers a secret that Tony Scott Colombi has kept from his friends and teachers alike. The teenager is a functional illiterate. I've never heard of that show. Szynski. I'm going to have to see if I can write this down. CSZYSZN. Zizinic? I guess Zizinic. Never been able to remember how to spell that. G. That is weird. SZYSZNYK. Zizinic. Zizinic? I don't know. Masterpiece Theater. At 9 o'clock, we've got The Family Way, comedy drama. Wodehouse Playhouse. Maud. At 9:30, Tennis. All's Fair, comedy. Charlie bears the details of her relationship with Richard in a magazine that hits the stands just before he's due to be honored by the National Association of Women's Club. Oh gosh, Bernadette Peters, Richard Crenna, Howard Morton, Charlotte Ray, J.A. Preston, Lee Chamberlain, Jack Dodson. Well, let me see this. What is this? All's Fair. This is 1977. And we'll see what's there. We'll see if I can find some Pallisers. I don't know what the hell that is. 10 o'clock. Sonny and Cher. There's my mother and father's show in 1977. We would literally go over to somebody's house. If we were like living in a van or a motorhome or something, we would go over to somebody's house to watch that. William Conrad, Ruth Buzzy, Barbie Benton, Engelbert Humperdinck. Whoa, what a show. Marcus Welby, MD. Oasis in Space documentary exploring nuclear power, coal, and solar energy as future alternatives to oil. Included are reviews of projected solar collectors in space. Okay, but how do you get the energy down to Earth? Collect the heat and then blast it down to Earth to heat up some turbine or something? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Best of Groucho at 11. Love American Style, 11:05. Streets of San Francisco. Johnny Carson. Guest host David Steinberg. Oh boy. Kojak. At 12:40, Tony Mustang. Tony Musante is the star of that show. Sammy Davis Jr. stars in Poor Devil, 1973 TV movie about an inept recruiter for Satan who is given one last chance. Jack Klugman and Christopher Lee is, I guess, probably Satan. There you go. That takes us into late night, which is tomorrow, Tuesday. And tomorrow we'll look at this other TV guide from Saturday until Tuesday. And then we'll look at this Tuesday here. And just kind of get it all wrapped up on television Tuesday. Tomorrow. Coffee. Bong hit. If nothing extremely fancy happens here on the show in the next, 15 minutes or so, I'm probably going to be wrapping it up for the morning so that I can eat breakfast and see what happens this morning. I know my wife and I have to go out and pay some bills and do a little bit of shopping. I'm going to have to go out and yank the battery out of my van and take it in. I hate doing that because the front end of the van only opens up with a little spot like this big. So I got to really wiggle that battery out and then shoehorn it back in. So I'm going to disconnect the battery and bring it, and we'll drop it off. We have to swing by one of the houses we take care of, and I have got to connect a pipe to the hot water heater because it has got a bit of a drip coming out of the pipe, the little lower drain pipe there. It's just got a drip that's been harassing us. So I'm just going to connect some piping to it and run it to the garage door. I'm not even going to try to... I was going to hook it up and then route it down along the wall and then stick it out through the wall to the outside of the house. But in order to do that, I would have to go through the inside of the house and then go outside and go through the stucco. And I don't want to mess up the stucco going through. So I'm just going to pipe it out, straight pipe it out to the garage door. And that's going to be kind of weird because the garage is just filled with shit. So I'm going to literally have to connect pipes and slide them under furniture and stuff that's in the garage and get to the hot water heater and then go up from there and connect it. So I'm going to go there, make a list of what I need. Then we're going to go drop the battery off, then go by Home Depot, and then go by and hook up that pipe stuff, and then go by and pay bills and pick up a few things at Walmart, because that's the only place to fucking pay bills. And then, by then, hopefully we'll know if that battery's going to charge or whether we're just going to pick up another one. And then deal with that and come back and get it into the van and be done for the day. So that's probably going to happen early today, and then I'll have to take an afternoon nap. But I'm going to be pretty busy today. So I don't think I'm going to get back to bed this morning, which would have been nice. I think it's going to be more like an afternoon nap after I get back from all of that stuff and whatever else we have to do, whatever else is on my wife's side of the list. And then get back and put that battery in the van and be done with that. And then the next step will be to take the van back over to the same house and pull the chairs out. And then to just clean the van out, just clean it out. Everything, cup holders, you know, the console around the doghouse, the thing that sits over the motor in the van. All the covers have to come out and get cleaned and vacuumed and reorganized and put all the fresh stuff in there. I got to take my coffee bags and my little teapot and my cups and all of that stuff. I've got to plan out my meals and take everything I need to create my meals. Basically, it's just a pot, right? It's just going to be a pot and a skillet, cutting board, knife, some, utensils. Pretty basic. The more people, the bigger the deal, and the more stuff I got to bring. If it's just me and, a couple of other people, no big deal. I'm going to cook my stuff probably just on my little camp stove. If other people show up, we're going to have a barbecue set up so that other people can barbecue and make food. We might get together to create a community meal, so I'll bring extra stuff so that we're okay up to a certain amount of people, and then we'll have to get more plates and cups and silverware. But other than that, we get past a few dozen people and we'll have to get more. Coffee. Totally. So what's going on this week? If you were here early, you saw the preview. At 4 o'clock today, Fusion, the Energy Promise. This is back in the 70s, never made it. Because, you know, who can profit off of the fuel? If you can't profit off of a fuel, they don't want to have it as an energy source. Somebody has to be able to profit. Or nobody wants to get into it. It's you know, it's no big deal if it fucks up the planet. But if there's, you know, we don't want it if there's no profit in it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Planet of the Apes, the TV series and the animated show. And the 4 o'clock movie tomorrow is Cults. A lot of religions, a lot of new religions, and how many of those new religions are cults, right? There you go. On Wednesday, we're going to listen to and discuss Tarzan, the radio show from back in the 30s. The film for 4 o'clock on Wednesday is A Truck Driver Named Gert, which is about a truck driver named Gert. And it's back when women didn't have those kinds of jobs. And it was like, oh my God, she's a truck driver, she's a doctor, you know, she's a sports figure. So it's kind of funny, actually. Thursday, we're going to look at my realistic SCT-24, and that is a stereo cassette tape deck. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to discuss that and more realistic stuff, and we'll look at a box of cassettes, too. We can't listen to anything because of copyright stuff, but we can sure check it out. And Thursday's 4 o'clock film is going to be Loose Bolts, where we talk to people from the Chevy GM Corporation, people who worked on the manufacturing line, and they tell us their stories about what it's like to be involved back then with your working with a car company. Chevy and GM wouldn't even let them film anything at their plant. They wouldn't talk to them. They wouldn't allow current employees to talk to them. So they had to talk to past employees, and they had to film a lot of stuff in Ford, at the Ford plant, because they weren't talking to Ford people. So Ford said, yeah, if you're gonna diss the other corporation, then yeah, come, we'll let you film here. And so they did. That's Loose Bolts. On Friday, we are going to talk about how I made money as a teenage runaway, basically. How did I survive? How did I stay alive? And I started working at 15, right about the time that I was out of the house, because I needed money. I couldn't get it at home, so I went and worked. If I couldn't steal any dope from my parents to sell to my fellow classmates, then I was trying to find a job somewhere, doing something, anything, especially when I was homeless, and I couldn't rely on that source of income from my parents, right? I mean, they were probably happy to have me gone because I was using up a lot of their weed. I was smoking it, and I was selling it. And they would buy it and bring it home to smoke, usually. And I'd be taking it. I wasn't getting any food at home. I felt like, you know, I was owed something. I was giving up food money so they could get high. I was giving up clean clothes money. You know? So, I don't resent any of that, and I don't blame anybody. They did what they did because that's who they were, right? I can't blame them for that. I just know that a lot of the shit that happened was pretty fucked up, you know? So I just move on, you know? A lot of the fucked up things that happened to me when I was young led to a lot of really good things, so I can't say that I wish I never had to run away from home. I met a lot of great people and stayed with a lot of great people and learned a lot of valuable lessons that I wasn't getting at home. So having to run away from home was one of the best things that happened to me. It was one of the worst, but it was also one of the best. A lot of things turned out like that, you know. Like one of the worst things was like sitting and doing drugs or cocaine or smoking cocaine or something with your father or mother for days at a time without doing anything but that, right? And while that's really, really horrible, if you allow it to wake you up, you can see that there's something out of place there. If that can happen, then there's something out of place there, and maybe I shouldn't be there. And had to literally extract myself from my own world many times, just for self-preservation, right? Yeah. I am going to set up a couple of things here on my table, and I am going to run to the restroom and heat up my coffee and take a leak. Oh my gosh. I'll be back in a flash. Arr. You know when you're taking a leak and it just never seems to end? My goodness. My goodness. Really. It's something to behold. Totally. I'm here, eh? I'm back. Don't go anywhere, but come back anyway. Oh, totally. Alright, there you go. I'm about ready to sip some hot coffee. Do another bong hit. And then I'm just going to hang out for a little while longer and then get dressed, eat breakfast, pull that battery out of my van, try to get the energy together to go take care of a few things today, and then just come back exhausted and pass out and probably sleep till 5 or 6. So before I get up and do all of this stuff, I got to eat. Before I leave, I'm going to have to eat again. And then when I get back, I'm going to have to try to eat again when I get back before I lay down. I need to start putting more food in my body. Last night I brought home one of those Stouffer's meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy meals and devoured it, and it was like the most I had eaten in one sitting in like months, right? I used to eat like a big tamale and beans and all kinds of stuff, and then I got burned out on that, and I just kind of go with whatever I can eat until I get burned out on it, right? And right now those Stouffer's meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy, that's pretty good. So I'll do that every couple of nights. Try to find something in between. I love to do soup every day. Soup and a biscuit every day. Just a cup of soup and a nice biscuit. That's a wonderful lunch or a late supper. I try not to get into anything too heavy at any point. I just try to stay away from heavy-duty food, right? That meatloaf is great because it's, man, it just melts in your mouth. I told my wife, look, if we're going to do burgers again, let's go get a couple of really nice steaks. Let's have them ground up twice at the butcher, and then we'll make some really nice patties. My daughter's like, yeah, I like that. So we'll do that, and then I can eat that, right? I don't even need a bun for that, you know, just a patty and a little bit of ketchup, and that sounds great to me. That's all. Just lightly cooked. Just a bit outside. Totally. Oh, this bonghead staring at me. I gotta do it, eh? I gotta take a couple of hangers on the camping trip so I can put a couple of shirts up so people know that I still have a couple of shirts. I don't even remember what the sizes are. I'm just hoping that I have a size that Chris will be able to wear if he shows up. And then I'm hoping that the people who do show up want to buy a piece of the past or participate in something and earn a piece of the past with their participation, or, you know, buy a raffle ticket or something. And I'll just take some construction paper and a marker and sit there and cut up little chips and say, here, put your name on this, fold it in half and drop it in here, and there's your drawing. I'll come up with a couple of games that people can play and, you know, win a prize. The scavenger hunt should be fun. If I can get a half a dozen people to do the scavenger hunt, it'll be a blast, you know. And then what I'll probably do is, rather than worry about paper, is I'll try to figure out how to share a map with points of interest on it, right? And you need to go to these points of interest, you know, or map out thing with, you know, A, B, C, D all the way around the lake, and each one will correspond to a list, you know, of stuff. I don't know exactly how to do something like that. Maybe I'll enlist my daughter or somebody out there who is savvy with that, who can show me how to open up a map and draw a route and have points of interest on the route, and then highlight those points of interest with a requirement. You know, take a picture of this. Go here and take a picture of that. Go here and take a picture of that. And then that's something that I can do Thursday when I go. I can go set up my camp, have things planned out, and take a drive with somebody and map that out, and then come back and then just share that with people. You want to get into it? Okay, here's I'm going to share this with you. There's your map. I shared it with you at this time. you know, and there you go. Take all the pictures, and then you're entered in the drawing. That's it. That's all you got to do. And just have like maybe no more than a dozen points of interest around the lake, probably less, and something that can be handled within a quick drive around the lake. You know, it's 21 miles around. When I was young, it was probably the same, but it's 21 miles around, probably shorter one way than the other. And then points of interest, you know. Try to have everything so that you can do it pretty much at any time before the sun goes down, right? And like if people are just coming into town, it's like, okay, we're going to be in a town, send us the stuff and we'll do the scavenger hunt before we get there, right? So we don't have to leave. There you go. We might do a group scavenger hunt where everybody just, you know, a bunch of people jump into a car and go out and do it. One person with a map and one person just yelling out where to take pictures, you know. And that's all it's, you know, that's all it's going to take. That's it, baby. That's it. And I'm already thinking of places that need to be checked out, right, all the way around the lake. Maybe I should jot down some notes while I'm thinking about it. Where is my clipboard from camping, right? Where did that go? Here's my camping list from last time, so I'll probably just reuse that this time. But let's see. We have the scavenger hunt. Points of interest. Scavenger hunt. Points of interest. And we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to leave town. We're not going to go out to any weird places. We're just going to stick to town. And it'll just be along a route that just goes around the lake. Right? And there you go. And I'm not sure about order, but I'm just going to start writing down things that I want to see on the list. Let's see. The old site of the it's gone now, so I don't even know if it's even worth going over there to take a picture of something that's not there. The market, O'Hara's, which was just a bar, right? The Ortega Oaks Market, which is now something else. The Naval Academy, which is still abandoned, but somebody's using portions of it and the property. So the Naval Academy. Cranes, M&M Liquor. I'm going to have to see how many of these places are still available. Cranes. Mobile Home Park. Maybe I'll just make a list, right, and say, here's the list, go. You don't get a map. You get your phone as the map, and you can use your phone as the to take the pictures, to collect the things on the scavenger hunt, and that's it. I think that will make it easier, right? I will send you a list. Get as many of those things on the list as you can. And I won't tell you where they are. I'll just give you the name of the place, and you can go see if you can still find out where it is. Right? And if you need to use your map, then go for it. So Zeller, Treehouse, Guy's house. Totally. I'm going to have to contact a few people to get some information about certain things. Man, I'm just going to have to break out a map and just look at the spots along the way. And rather than do a dozen places around the lake, maybe I'll just do just as many places as I can come up with on a list, right? Like 100 places and then it's whoever can get the most items on the list, you know, will be like the #1 winner, right? And then there'll be a deadline, like the deadline will be like 8 o'clock or something, because it'll be too late after that to do a drawing and a giveaway and that kind of stuff. Or maybe it'll be 7 o'clock, because if we have live music, it'll be live music, giveaway, live music, giveaway, live music, giveaway. A little bit of both, happening at the same time maybe. Whatever. Totally. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm probably thinking a half dozen people are going to show up that I know of. And then there may be another dozen or so people that show up peripherally that I've heard, or that have heard about it, and that I've heard might be interested. But I don't know anything for sure, you know. Like I've said, as long as that one person comes, and then a bunch of the local guys can come hang out, that'd be enough for me. And then I think what I'll do is I'll mark a bunch of stuff, scavenger hunt prizes, and then mark a bunch of stuff, raffle, and then a few things auction, right? And let it go like that. I'm hoping I can bring in a stereo and get it working with not too much hoopla, right? Whether it's this little boom box behind me up here, this Sony boom box from the 80s, or an actual stereo from the 70s or 80s. And I've got a really nice one, a clarinet, realistic clarinet. That's, I believe it's the 4-way. It's got the turntable, the cassette player, the AM/FM radio, and an 8-track. So if I can get that working, functioning, and do that as a giveaway, or an auction, I don't know. The things I'm going to auction, I'm really looking to double what I invested into them, right? So I'd like to get at least $100 for the poster that I've got, this one poster, and then I'd like to get at least $50 to $100 for the stereo, regardless of which one it is, if it's working, because I'm going to, along with the stereo, I'm going to add a couple of cassettes, a couple of 8-tracks, a couple of 45s on a record, and make it a full package, so it'll have the speakers and everything. So yeah, that should be fun. Fun on a bun. If I can keep this scavenger hunt close to the main route, then it should be a lot easier to get people involved, you know. I think we're going to go from Lake Elsinore around the lake all the way down into Wildemar, and then through Wildemar and over to the high school, and then from the high school back through town, because our town is a bunch of different areas, and each area has its own little name. So we're going to go around and hit all of those places. And get photographs of the thing in that area, right? Give me a picture of the O'Hara's sign. Give me a picture of the Ortega Oaks Market or the front of the market with the sign, right? Something you can pull up in your car and go, or you could get out and say, look, I went in and got one with me and the cashier. Well, great. That's even better. Bonus. You get bonus points, baby. But most of the stuff you should be able to pull up in your car and do pretty quick and then move on to the next thing. So it should take an hour-ish to do the 21. Well, you're going to go down to Wildemar and over to the high school and stuff. So it's going to take a little over an hour, maybe 2 hours, you know. But it may be longer if you've got a bunch of people who were really into it, you know. And then we'll have one that can happen on Friday. If you show up on Friday and you want to go do something, here's the scavenger hunt. If you're going to be around Saturday, we'll do a drawing then. And otherwise, if you're only here for that one day, then here's a gift for playing. And then do the big stuff on Saturday. Totally. All right. I'm up to my last bong hit here, and then I'm going to eat some food and then get motivated. I've got these cases of 8-tracks, right? So there's these cases of 8-tracks, and inside of each case there's like 24 8-tracks. Right? Yep, 24 8-tracks in each case. Some of them have more, some of them have less. I've got 4 of these sitting right behind me here, plus a larger one that's got more like 32 in it. I'm looking across the room and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more 8-track cases filled with 8-tracks. Plus the carousel that we had over here the other day, plus the few 8-tracks that are surrounding me here, plus a whole stack of 8-tracks over here on my bookshelf, plus another stack down there. Plus out in my shed I've got a giant box filled with 8-tracks. I've got a shelf almost the size of this desk stacked this high all the way back, filled on this shelf, plus another shelf filled with tapes and unopened, recordable, unopened, plus 2 shelves of 8-track players, right? Portable car stereo players, you name it. Household stereos, I've got a half dozen or a dozen of those out there in various sizes and shapes, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. If I were to put it all into a little mom and pop type store, I could fill the store with all of my crap. But it would be more like a museum, because I wouldn't be able to part with much of it, right? It's like, wow, is everything in here for sale? No, just that stuff there. That's all? Yep, everything else is for display only. But that's most of the store. Yeah, well, it's my stuff. I can sell what I want. And then every week just collect more stuff to put on display and to sell, you know. I would love to have an old style video store, a rental store, where you come in, you get a membership card, you leave a deposit, which means if you don't bring your shit back, then we just charge you. We just charge your card, you know, an exorbitant amount of money, so that you have no choice but to bring the shit back or pay through the ass. And that would be fun. And then just collect videotapes. Videotapes and DVDs and some Betamax, you know, have some 16mm and Super 8mm stuff. That would be great. How about even better would be to, rather than have it so that it's like a store, right? A video store or a rental place, it's more of a library where you can check the stuff out, but it never leaves the building. You can check it out here and it goes into a room here. And in the room, it's a little mini theater. And in the little mini theater, you can watch whatever you want to watch, you know. You can either go into a room and set the stuff up yourself so you can use the stuff, or you can say, can you put this on in room so-and-so, and somebody will go in there and put it on in the film room, and you sit in there and watch it. And then there's a call button in case there's anything. Hey man, this thing broke and it's rolling all over the floor, you know. And they'll just have instructions. Look, this is how you turn it on, this is how you turn it off. If you want to turn it off, you have to turn it all the way off. You can't just stop the film. You got to turn the light off too, yada yada yada. You know, so you go in, you give them a few instructions, you coach them a little bit, and then you let them watch their film. In the old school format, you know, we can even have one room that's set up like an old classroom, and you just go in there, and whether it's on film or on video or digitally, it's projected up on the wall onto a screen, and you sit in there at a desk, and you're given paper and stuff, and you get to take notes. And then if you want to participate afterwards, there's a quiz, you know. That would be neat too. So in each type of room, you could relive different moments of your life, or find out what it was like. Go into a room and see what it was like to sit in there and watch TV the old way, or to play video games the old way, or to watch a movie. The old VCRs and stuff. That would be great, you know. Have that set up in a giant building alongside an old hotel motel type thing, right? A little motor lodge. So you've got your own little arcade / movie house, right? / library with all kinds of movies that you can select from, rooms to view, weird places to view stuff like a classroom or a living room set back in the 70s or 80s, you know, so that you can immerse yourself in it. Hot food, drinks, rooms to rent. You can even use the hotel rooms as time machines, right? Every room can be dressed for a different period, a different year or era, you know, and then for a different class, right? It's like here's kind of upper middle class, here's kind of a lower class, here's really high class, right? And see how the different classes lived back in 1978 or something. That would be cool. You know, totally. I got 1 million of them. Totally, eh? If I could have one dream to fulfill, aside from being immortal, it would have to be, and without pain, immortality, and good health, right? That's. Other than that, I think it would be to create kind of an amusement park type thing, kind of like a Boomers, Dave and Buster's, kind of a big place, a multifaceted entertainment facility, so that you can past land, past world, or something where you can go and immerse yourself into a specific era or period, right? And then just hang out there and kind of, if you had a season pass, you would then become kind of a part of that past, because you'd probably start dressing the part, and you'd probably start using the language and, you know, more fitting in, you know, and have it divided up like on a wheel, and have it divided up kind of like the Disneyland or something, where you've got different periods in time that you can just kind of creep into, you know, but not like, you know, like Adventureland and Tomorrowland and that kind of stuff. It would have to be a period from a certain place in time and in the country, and it would have to be something that you could fill it with enough elements to make it worth that, right? The Old West is a great one, because you can have the old and the new together, right? Kind of. You know, horses and stagecoach and a train, you know, and the train can be something that transports you not just from point A to point B inside of that Old West, but it also, now you can take a train to this world over here, and now, you know, you're maybe the train does kind of a weird shaped loop through each land, and on each end of the land there's a train station that you can get on or get off, right? But you can also change trains and get on another train that goes through another world and its time period. It's because the train is a little bit different, you know. So you go through these different eras, you know. Colonial is a lot of footwork and buggy work, you know. And just have little time periods, you know, the wheel of time going around. Well, I think it's about time for me to hit the road, get on out of here. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been awesome. It is time for me to get on my way. So I will bring us the end credits and wish you a fond farewell. Alright, people, you know what to do. Be kind, be nice to each other, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Alright, take care of each other, take care of yourself. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because it makes you feel good, makes somebody else feel good, makes the world a better place. Makes us all get along. Alright? Most especially stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna be weird for you, baby. You gotta put in the effort, put in the time. Go out and do something for somebody nice, and don't ask for anything. And then when they offer it, just say, no, it's just, this one's on me, baby. That's weird. People don't understand that. Alright, take care of each other. Love each other. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Minecrafting will hopefully be back next week. If not, for sure when I get back from my little vacation in the middle of August. Alright, you guys, take care of each other. Love you. Have a great night. See you tomorrow, and adios.